And then by Friday night, we'll still see some more snow, but we'll have warmer temperatures during the day. So this little polar vortex can affect us a little bit, but not too much. Now here's what open snow is calling for. Now I mentioned the National Weather Service called for daytime accumulations today, maybe 1 inch, and that's what we're looking at too with the National Weather Service and open snow. But on Thursday, that's where we could see more of accumulation. So maybe 5 inches at Vail, 5 inches at Beaver Creek, and then we'll take a break on Friday, and then maybe a couple inches for your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We are rolling into the holiday weekend, and I'm sure that this weather is really scaring a lot of people, with all that travel and all the airline travel and everything. So hopefully things go well for you if you have travel on your agenda for the next couple of days. Please keep in mind that we'll get to the roads in a little bit too after headlines, but a little slow going this morning too. So we want to thank the outlets at Silverthorne bringing you this mountain weather report. And they're a good place to go if you still need to take care of some of that holiday shopping. They've got stores for pretty much everyone on your list. But let's bring in Heather and find out what it feels like out there because she's in the elements. I'm here under the lights in a nice cozy studio. But let's bring it outside. Heather, what's the real feel? What does it feel like out there this morning?
I have a pretty warm coat on, so it doesn't feel that cold to me. I think it's much warmer than the last time I was out here. I find when you get over 20, it kind of feels nice, right? When you're
Yeah.
dressed in a couple of layers. So
Well, you know what? I think when you go from being 0 in the mornings and then it's 20, it really makes a difference. Like your whole perspective, like 20's warm. Like that's like a heat
exactly.
wave.
I don't actually even have my gloves on right
Oh
quite
my
yet. So
gosh,
it's really
unheard
not that
of.
bad.
Okay, perfect. Well, it looks very pretty out there. I know that they did tree lighting over by the children's fountain. So normally they do it right behind you, but those trees, I think they're giving them a little break. You know, all
Uh,
those heavy lights year after year, they're giving that tree a little break. But looks gorgeous. Are you seeing a lot of activity? There was a lot of traffic driving in when I came into work this morning.
yeah, there was a rush a few minutes ago, I'm assuming when one of the buses came in,
Yeah.
but it's not too crazy yet. It's a little bit early. The lifts aren't quite running. So I think people are staying warm for maybe a little bit longer this morning than
Yes.
they need to be out here immediately. But I think we're starting to see some of that foot traffic come in.
Okay, yeah, and let's talk a little bit about the mountain and the lifts opening. So now both mountains, Vail and Beaver Creek, they open up at 8:30. They just changed that all last week. Vail still
Hmm.
closes at 3:30. They'll extend their hours later on in the spring, and then Main Beaver Creek Mountain goes all the way till 4 o'clock. So you can get a full day in. I think there's still going to be some hot chocolate breaks though today, just to stay
Yeah.
warm, or maybe some gondola laps to stay warm as well. Especially tomorrow, I think that'd be a good way to go.
I think that with the wind picking up tomorrow is going to be the day you're going to want to head inside, I think, for a couple extra breaks. We might be
Yeah.
all right, at least in the morning today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the snow isn't really supposed to start till noon, so I think your visibility is going to be a
Mhm.
little better. I think I'd still wear the goggle, that the lighter shade to help you see the flat light
Yeah.
conditions and those bumps and the
Maybe
rollers.
riding a little closer to the trees, that always
Yeah,
helps me as well when
yeah,
visibility gets bad.
to get this perspective. Now, if
Hmm.
you've been out on the mountain, we've opened a lot more terrain, especially over at Vail in the last week.
I know. I intended to go yesterday. It's been so nice and cozy in my house. So I have to admit, I haven't been as much. I was doing great until last Tuesday, and I feel like I've taken a little bit of a break. I'm going to be out actually probably not until Friday. I'll probably wait for some of this stuff to pass, but we'll
Okay,
see.
yeah.
And then a bit more in the next week.
Yeah, but you know what? They opened up Blue Sky Basin and
Yeah, I
on
missed that.
Monday, and like wow! And then last Thursday they opened up China Bowl, Siberia Bowl, Teacup. So that brought a lot of people. I was working that morning, and I hadn't the announcement hadn't been made, and I'm like, why is it so busy? So sometimes that's the scoop. That's what was going on. And then over at Beaver Creek, they've opened up Larkspur Bowl, and they've been buffing out Arrowhead because I can see it. I live in Edwards, and I can see those
Yeah.
snowcats going. So I think we should be really soon with Arrowhead. They have the Winch Cat operations going on over there, but we've got about 90 trails open. 47% of the train over at the Beeve. McCoy Park has not opened yet, but I could see them getting that open soon as well. Heather, what's your favorite place? Do you have a go-to or a go-to
I
run?
do. I'm in Edwards as well, so I think that makes me biased towards Beaver Creek. And so for me, I always wait for Grouse Mountain to open. So we're not quite there yet,
Yeah.
and some of those fun runs. And I'm hoping to hit a rope drop because back there, especially when things are nice and fresh, that would be amazing.
Oh yeah, a rope drop on grouse. That would be
Yeah.
amazing before there's any like bumps out there. No, that'd be
Hmm.
super cool. I know I go back and forth. My husband loves Vail a little bit more. I worked at Beaver Creek, so I feel like I know that a little more. I feel a little more
Yeah.
loyalty towards it. But I honestly, I love them both. I had a friend that was in from Denver. She hadn't been here in about a year, so she was here last January. She skied one time last year, so we got to go all over. We were at Northwoods. We were at Chair 4, Chair
Yeah.
3. We checked out the new ice bar for Vale's little
Oh.
celebration. That's up at the top of Eagle's Nest. And you know what else they have at the Eagle's Nest are these little, they're like little igloos. They're like little yurts you can rent. And
Oh,
then you
no.
have your own little private place to be. So that's
I
kind of
definitely need to
new.
head up there. I've missed that since I haven't been out the last couple of days, but I'd
Yeah.
love to see that. The pictures have been beautiful, so definitely seems
Oh,
like the place
yeah.
to be.
You know what? The last 2 weekends, we had the beautiful blue, clear skies this past weekend, and the weekend before, no wind. It's just been a really
Hmm.
beautiful couple of December weekends for everyone. Like, we get the storms during the week and the sunshine on the weekends. And then I'm not sure if you've been up to Chair 3 area. They just opened that recently. There you can see the construction and what's going on with the new 17 lift and lift 7 coming out of Game
Hmm.
Creek. And then there's a new ski patrol shack. And I think they were able to get the helicopter in last week that was gonna help bring the cables up and everything. There was a bunch of chairs when I was up there on Saturday. So hopefully that's
Okay.
on its way to being open. And that would be a fun rope drop too, to do a little Ricky's
Completely,
Ridge.
completely, and a lot of anticipation, right? Because everybody wants to see the new chair be open. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm excited for Game Creek Bowl to be turned into a 6-person chair versus the 4-person. I love skiing over there.
Mhm.
It's a great place to go, especially if you have a bigger group and mixed ability
Yeah.
levels. There's really something for everyone, but there's only one way out, and it's that chairlift.
Yes,
And it gets a
I know.
little shady and it gets a little cold. So it's
I always tell people you don't want to go back there when I'm there, though, because for some reason I have the worst luck, and there's always shut down right when I'm back there. So just if you see me go back there, go somewhere else on the mountain. You're
good to
not going to have good
know.
luck.
Don't follow
So
Heather, okay?
that's
Like,
right.
good to
That's not
know.
for that one.
I know, I know. Hey, but Heather, we got to talk about the calendar. So today is the winter solstice. So this is
Yes.
when the sun travels its shortest path through the sky, and that day, therefore, has the shortest amount of
More
daylight,
sun.
and it's the longest night. So, really cool. And then tomorrow we'll slowly, second by second, see the days getting a little longer. But it's the first official day of winter. So we've been in autumn all the way from September, 21st or so since now.
Yeah,
So,
so funny. It's like as soon as it officially became fall, we went straight into winter. Although snow is
yeah,
my favorite, so it's always okay.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Okay, yeah. So snow is your favorite. So where are you from? Did you grow up with snow?
nope. I'm from New Orleans, so it makes absolutely no sense. And I, I actually lived in Atlanta for 16 years. So there was a short stint in Pennsylvania for about 4 years when I was a kid, but otherwise, there's really no logic behind my love of the
Yeah,
snow. But we've
yeah.
been out here for 10 years and 4 in the mountains, and yeah, summer is actually my least favorite season. Although
Oh
mountain
my.
biking helps.
Oh wow. Okay, well good. Well, you were in the right place. And you know what? It is so pretty out right now. It's just like a winter wonderland. We definitely have a white Christmas. Even down in Eagle, when people fly in, sometimes Eagle, since it's lower elevation, can be a bit dry. You just see kind of some
Yeah,
of the dormant grass and everything, and you're like, is there going to be any skiing going on over there in Vail?
exactly.
And but it's a white Christmas down there, and we've had our snow. We got those storms in October, and it really
Hmm.
never melted in my yard.
Yeah,
So my
same for
driveway,
me. So
my
yeah,
driveway
absolutely.
is a little
And I think it makes it very Christmassy, though, right? Like it's very
yes,
seasonally appropriate when everything's covered in snow and the trees kind of are draped, like the ones that are right behind me. I just think it makes it very festive. So
yes.
I love that. And then the nice thing, just like you were saying with the solstice, we've got all the Christmas lights up, and so that at least helps when it's so dark. And then with
I know.
tomorrow it getting lighter, it's like an easier transition as
It
we go into
definitely
the season.
is. It definitely is. Okay. Well, hey, we better get rolling. We've got to get to the headlines, get to a road report, and a lot more. So stay with Vail Valley Live.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
Hi, I'm Peggy Ziegler, fashion guru and stylist for the Outlets at Silverthorne. I'm here to share with you an amazing place called the Colorado Welcome Center. We've got fabulous brochures on all the nearby places and towns and things to do right here while you're in Summit County and visiting the Outlets at Silverthorne. And of course, pick up your Elite Savings Card booklet, offering you fabulous discounts and a rewards program too. See you soon.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery is kind of a one-stop shop. We have everything in-house.
We have cast techs, MRI machines, x-ray of course right at the clinic, physical therapy right at our clinic.
I'm going to get to the bottom of what your diagnosis is with all the resources we have, and that's what we do.
Welcome back to Vail Valley Live. Time now to see what made headlines in today's Vail Daily for Wednesday, the 21st of December. Winter solstice is today. So on the cover, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Vail Town Council member Barry Davis checks out the view Tuesday from the top of the residences at Main Vail in Vail during a topping off event to honor the construction workers who have built the new workforce housing project in Vail. The residences at Main Vail is a 100% deed restricted for rent residential development that includes a mix of 72 one and two bedroom homes. Check that out on the cover of today's Vail Daily. Also, headlines for today: stay home and bundle up. Heavy snow and high winds that might bring a wind chill of up to 40 below zero could make travel extremely difficult from Wednesday afternoon through Friday morning. More on this on page A4. And that kind of cold can bring frostbite in as little as 10 minutes, so do be careful if you're out and about. And then in the local and regional news time machine, this is something that we do on a weekly basis that takes us through the decades 30, 40, 50, even 60 years ago. You can learn what happened this week during that time. And 10 years ago, Michaela Schifrin earned her first World Cup podium. Wow, what a difference a decade makes and how strong she is still going. So check that out. That's on page A2. And then also Minturn water tank primed for preservation. Minturn's water tank that was built in 1941 as a venture between the town and the Denver and Rio Grande Western Railroad, it has been recommended for inclusion in the town's historic register. And it is such an iconic piece of Minturn. Any artwork you see of Minturn, you usually see that little sign, that image out there. But also in today's news, there's still time to help out the Salvation Army, the Vail Salvation Army. They've been busy, especially Thanksgiving and the last couple of weeks getting all the baskets ready and sending them out to different people. Volunteers are essential for operations at the Vail Valley branch of the Salvation Army. Here, people from Vail Fire and the emergency services help organize items for food baskets. So if you want to ring the bell or help out, you can do so. Check out for more information on page A5. And also in today's paper, in Sports and Outdoors, or actually before we get to that, we're going to talk a little bit about a fundraiser that is coming up. Paul Culbertson Foundation fundraiser is set for Thursday. Dining for a Cause to support scholarship fund for local youth. And you could see one of those local youths right there. Audrey Crowley is one of the recipients of the Live for Those Who Cannot scholarships. So find out more about this, and if you want to dine for a cause, it's going to be delicious. They're going to be taking you over to Harvest in Edwards for this big event. And then in Sports and Outdoors, Battle Mountain Boys Takedown Summit. You can learn a little bit more about these games. They're kind of wrapping up their games before they go on Christmas break. Check it out on page A29. And there's also some information about the Ski and Snowboard Club athletes. So grab the paper today. And if you don't want to go outside to get it throughout this blustery weekend that we're going to be seeing, you can always go online. VailDaily.com will give you all this information and more. And it's also good to stay tuned to the website to find out about breaking news alerts, such as road closures up on Vail Pass, Eisenhower Channel, Dow Junction, Walcott, S curves. Oh, they're going to have that information for you. And speaking of roads, do slow it down out there today. We did get 3 inches of new snow at Vail, 2 over at Beaver Creek. That's great news for the slopes, but it just causes a little bit of havoc out there on the roads. And you can see West Vail, we still have some of that snow-packed and icy conditions. Looks like Eisenhower Tunnel, they didn't get quite as much snow. They're clearing things off. Dow Junction, things are moving pretty smoothly as well. The plows were out, and the side streets and parking lots still have quite a bit of snow. So make sure that you slow it down a little bit and watch for that splashback today too. I just topped off my windshield wiper fluid. I bought an extra bottle to keep in my car, so I'm set for the winter. So that's a quick look at the news and the roads. Let's bring in Heather and see where she's wandered off to this morning. She's been up at Vail Mountain. All right, so yeah, you've got the statue.
Not too far away.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that they're doing the menorah tree lighting nightly. They invite you to come out at 5 o'clock for that, or go a little early at 4:30. They invite you to come into Loaded Joe's, maybe have a warm drink.
Even better.
And then they invite you outside. So that's where the menorah lighting is happening this week.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the 10th Mountain Division, I always like statue behind me as well. I remember when they did the big celebration here, and I think they do one usually in maybe it's January, where you usually get to meet people kind of in the same area. So.
Yeah, well, and you know what? They're bringing back the legacy parades. So they're going to start those in January. And what that basically is you start at the top of Bridge Street, right by Gondola 1. And they even have this huge projection light that has the symbol of the 10th on Pepe's face. And then they have some speakers, and they show a little film, and then you proceed with some people are dressed up like the 10th Mountain with the white camo. They come right down Bridge Street, and they usually have one of those little Willys Jeeps, one of those little. And
it's
I don't know,
really kind of a fun thing to do. So
yes,
I'm glad to hear that those are coming back this year. I think that's definitely something that's been missing. So.
Yeah, you know what? It's great to learn a little bit about the history of how the 10th Mountain Division is tied into how Vail got its start, especially just last week. I don't know if you had a chance to read in these stories and the Vail Daily and everything, but it's an amazing, it's actually, it's kind of short. There's other ski areas that are older than us, but it's a short yet impressive history, especially the road leading up to Vail even being able to open. They were denied a permit, they were trying to get funding. everyone was doing everything to like build the town because it didn't exist. A lot of other towns like
Right. There was
Aspen,
not a lot here. I think they
yeah.
were mentioning, I think I did read this, and it was like if you went to Minturn, you had gone too far. Pretty much the only notice that you had passed Vail. So
Minturn was where you had to go to get your groceries, and there was no housing. They had to like they'd set up trailers and they'd put a bunch of people in there. Unlike like
yeah.
Aspen and Telluride, like they had the mining town already exist
Mm-hmm.
there. So Vail was, sheep ranching, cattle ranching. There was no I-70 either. So
Yeah, which is crazy to think about, right? That's like the main thoroughfare now, and just it's hard to picture if you don't see the actual
yeah,
photos from
yeah,
back in that time.
it
So
is. And you know what a lot of people don't realize is that Pete Seibert is known as like kind of the founder, and then Earl Eaton kind
hmm
of the finder. Because Earl grew up here, and he had hiked all these different trails around here, and he'd seen the back bowls. So he had met Pete
mm,
Seibert in Aspen, Loveland, and he's like, "I got a place that you've got to see." So they broke trail. They hiked all the way up to where they could see over the crest. They saw it, and Pete was like, "Wow, okay, we've got to make this
yeah.
happen." And what many people don't realize is Blue Sky Basin didn't open till like the year 2000. So a lot of people think
Oh, I
they,
didn't know that at all.
yeah, Blue Sky Basin opened up later, way later, but Blue Sky Basin was a part of the plan from the beginning. It just took a while to like expand and get there. Like Lion's Head wasn't even built, they opened in 1969. So you had 1962,
hmm
1969, kind of expanding into different areas of the back bowls, and then eventually Blue Sky Basin. But that was part of the original plan. So, but
Wow,
speaking of
that's
Blue
pretty cool
Sky,
just to think that they were able to envision all of that,
yeah,
just
yeah.
without anything here.
And have a grand dream that yeah we're gonna make this one of North America's largest resorts. Like what a
Yeah.
grandiose dream out there. But Blue Sky Basin, it did open on Monday. So if you didn't get to get out there, well, here's what it looked like. The Vail Daily John LeConte, he had a chance to do a little on the hill reporting. So let's show you what it looks like back in Blue Sky.
Hello and welcome to the Vail Daily's On the Hill. It is Monday, the 19th of December. I'm your host, John LeConte, excited to be back in Blue Sky Basin for the first time this season, 2022-2023 season. Blue Sky just opened today on the Monday before the Christmas holiday, which is this weekend. So great job to the Vail teams for getting that open. We are in the Little Alley / heavy metal trees area. So I'm going to shred that now. You'll see there's a lot of snow back here and a lot of snow in these trees. We're going to head down towards Pete's Lift, which is also open. And people have been out skiing it quite a bit today, but still lots of snow to enjoy. And it's part of a plethora of openings that we've seen here at Vail in recent days, in the last week. Oh, you guys found the cliffs. How are they looking?
Pretty nice.
Take this little
Pretty decent.
shoot here. Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Oh yeah. Lots of nice snow back here. Whew. And it's been sitting. The snow has been sitting, so you gotta muscle through it a bit. But ooh, packed down where it needs to be. And into the heavy metal trees. So we're still waiting on those new chairlifts. Game Creek didn't hit that early December hopeful deadline for the new cedar, but that's okay. Along with the new Chair 17 4-pack in that area, that's really going to transform that area, I think. Chair 3 now sort of spits you out right, or Chair 17 spits you out right between Chair 3 and Chair 7, the existing line. So it's now going to be 3 lifts, same area, just like at the PHQ, top of Chair 4 mountaintop. It'll be similar to that. And the Wildwood restaurant is equipped to handle it. I always thought it was kind of underappreciated. They have some good stuff there, barbecue. Okay, now we're in that familiar gully that you know and love on the way down to Pete's lift. Get over in the sun here. All right, we'll wrap it up here. So, thanks so much for tuning into the Vail Dailies on the Hill in Blue Sky Basin, where powder is plentiful. For now, I'm your host, John LeConte, signing off. I'll see you later.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery stands for providing highest quality care to our unique patient population here in the mountains.
I think that what makes us unique is that we really are practicing groundbreaking techniques, yet, we practice it in a small town environment. Our patients are our neighbors and our kids go to school with their kids.
I think every one of our docs treat their patients like their family. Our goal is to keep you active, doing the things you want to do, and we'll map out a road to success to get you there.
This weather and mountain report to you by Liv Sotheby's International Realty, Colorado's leading real estate firm. Contact your Vail Valley broker professionals today to help you live the life you love.
Well, we are back. I want to let you know what's going on with the weather. First of all, it is not absolutely freezing this morning. It's a rather balmy 22 degrees out there. Up on the mountain, looking at about 11 on Beaver Creek and 10 over at Vail. But down on the valley floor where Heather is, it's pretty nice. And when I was checking earlier, Avon and Edwards everyone was right around 22 degrees, 21. Eagle was sitting at 19. Denver is actually up at 30 degrees right now. So we aren't quite in that polar vortex quite yet. And a lot of that colder temperatures is going to be the east of us. So what we are looking at for today, a winter storm warning will be in effect from about noon today through noon tomorrow. And this will be bringing in snow, and we're also going to have some wind associated with this. So winds 20 to 25 miles per hour in the afternoon out of the west, could gust as high as 45 miles per hour. Chance of precipitation 80% today afternoon, 90% tonight, and then we round it out in the morning 30% probably before noon. So we'll get some accumulation probably more overnight and into tomorrow. This is when we'll really start to measure it. And then the daytime high tomorrow, we're looking into the teens. All right, and an overnight low below zero. And then for Friday, we'll see a slight chance of snow, about a 40% chance of showers, and then a 30% chance into the evening. And then Saturday, a little bit more snow in the forecast as well. So we're going to have a wet Christmas. That's definitely what's in store. But some chillier temperatures overnight, but not nearly as bad. Like these daytime highs, really that bad once we get into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I mentioned, I think Denver is going to be seeing a little bit more of the brunt of this on the Front Range. The eastern part of Colorado is going to feel it a little bit more than we are. So that's kind of good news up here, especially if you want to head on. Do keep in mind, though, if you are going out there tomorrow, we could see some wind chill, and we could also see some frostbite. So watch for that. New snow in the last 4 hours. Beaver Creek received 2 inches. Vail received 3 inches. And here's what Open Snow is reporting. So maybe an inch on Wednesday, and then throughout the 24-hour period into the Thursday cycle, we could get maybe up to 5 inches new for Vail and Beaver Creek. And then we take that break for Friday, and then maybe a couple inches Saturday, Sunday, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, a little white Christmas, and then that rounds out and kind of fades out by Monday. So, and then another storm maybe by, rolling into the end of the month. Look at 6 inches possibly at Beaver Creek and 7 over at Vail as we close down the month of November, right before the New Year's holiday. So, wow, that's big news. But let's bring it outside to find out where Heather is right now. And she was there without her glove. Put your gloves on yet?
I have put my gloves on yet.
Yeah.
So,
It's a little,
yeah.
it's not too balmy at 22 degrees.
No. Well, and when you're standing outside, it's a little bit different. If I'm snowboarding at this moment or doing a hike or something, it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely would. Kind of fun to see that video of what Blue Sky Basin looks like and everything. But,
Yeah.
We've got a lot going on. And one thing I want to let people know about, so tonight we've got, I wonder if there's still tickets because, so Mission Mount Vanguard is a documentary that our good friend of the station, Anthony, he has been working on this documentary for a half a dozen years, actually. And he aired it last December at the Valar Center. And I don't think it's been back, maybe once since then. So that is going to be tonight. And you can go to the Weston Riverfront Resort and Spa, and it's open to the public. It's going to include a little Q&A with Chris after the presentation. They're also going to have musicians Terry Armistead and Joe Bianchi. They're going to be singing the national anthem. They always have the national anthem sung by someone special. Doors open at 6 and 6:30 for the screening. But if you have a chance to see this is an amazing movie that basically leads up to the history of how the 10th Mountain Division started. And of course, the 10th is tied into how Vail got its start. But it really is an interesting show. Have you seen this, Heather?
I haven't. I've been hearing all about it, and it sounds really interesting, but nothing I've seen yet.
Yeah. If you get a chance, if you get tickets, I highly recommend going. I know it's not a holiday movie or anything, but it still is a really story that needed to be told. And I'm so glad that Chris took the time. And I've interviewed him several times about this, and he always says that, like, the story found me. It kept on pointing me in this direction, and I finally had enough pieces together to start, and all the people that helped him along the way. So that'll be going on tonight. A few other things happening. Cocktails and Canvas. Have you ever been to the Alpine Arts Center?
I have. Yeah, this is so much fun. I've gone for multiple things, and there are many of these pictures hanging in my house.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's a really great It's like a really great girls' night activity or date night activity. We always have a blast. And I think the instructors over there are so good because I am not a natural artist. And somehow, again, they're hanging on my wall. So I
Yeah,
think they do a good job of guiding you through it.
they definitely do. And you know what's so fun? If you go with a bigger group, I've gone when it's like an office activity and that kind of thing. Even though you're all doing the same thing, maybe you're doing a sunset or a winter scene, it's just neat to see different people's
Yes.
interpretations and talents. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. There's some really cool ones on the schedule too. I was just looking at them because we may have to make a trip over there. It's like a perfect thing that's not what everybody thinks about as a holiday activity, but I think
Yeah.
especially with their winter scenes, it's absolutely perfect for this time of year.
Oh, I think so too. And a great thing to do, especially for the non-skiers in your family. And I think they're rolling straight into their art camps for kids
Yeah.
as the schools go on break. So it's a good way to get kids out of the house. So check that out. That's Lauren Merrill right there doing that plein air painting. They do a wonderful job of keeping us busy, keeping us creative, and keeping the creative juices flowing. So that's happening. Also, a few of the things going on. Hey, we've got the ice skating shows. So these have been happening at Solaris and at the Arabelle, and they're just 15-minute shows. They feature quite a high caliber of skaters, from world, international, and Team USA skaters and seasoned professionals out there. And then, have you heard that Nathan Chen is coming to town?
I just saw that, I feel like in the last day or so, which is pretty exciting. I mean, to be
Well,
able to see, I believe he's an Olympian, correct? Am I getting this right?
yes. You know what? But okay, the shows have been sold out. I feel like I've read somewhere that on the 22nd, which would be the day before the show, they might be bringing more tickets. Okay, so if that happens, I think they were going to be doing like more of a like a matinee type of thing, just to be
Yeah.
able to allow, because there's so high demand. This has been sold out or near sold out for quite some time now. So keep your ears tuned in case this happens. So yeah, so check that out and see. Yes, it says additional on ice tickets may be available at 2 p.m. December 22nd after seating is organized in Dobson. I think they just have to how it's all gonna go, and then they might have some. So vailskatefest.com/tickets is where I found this information. So if you didn't get it, you might still be able to get it if they do deem it possible. Not today. Don't get them today. Tomorrow they'll make the announcement, and then Friday is the
Yeah.
show. So big week of shows. The
Yeah,
Valar.
and lots of holiday stuff going on at Valar, I think, too.
Yeah.
I know we're going to see Veronica Swift tomorrow night, which I've heard great things
Oh,
about.
you
So I think
are?
there's several things.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna be there a little earlier than the Veronica Swift show to see the new Dale Chihuly chandelier. It's the 25th anniversary of Valar, so of course you have to get yourself an anniversary present. And Dale
Yeah.
Chihuly, like, oh, his work is so amazing. It used to be a regular showing here at Pismo Gallery, which was a glass art gallery. And I always tell people when they don't know who he is, I always say, well, have you been to the Bellagio in Las Vegas? Because all that glass, that art on the ceiling,
wow.
when you walk into the lobby, that's his. And just he's got so many amazing things. And he was actually part of our Somerville art workshop way back in the day, like 40 years ago.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
when he was just becoming an up and coming artist, a lot of his contemporaries were like Dan Deline from Carrots and Randy Milhone. Like all those artists were kind of together, like doing their little workshops and doing educational things and bringing in educators from all over. So it's neat that it's kind of coming full circle that a Chihuly will be hung in the Valar Center. So tell me a little bit more about Veronica Swift. Why did you choose that performance? There's so many during the holidays. What made you pick that
There's
one?
a ton. And honestly, it was a friend sent us an email and said, hey, saw that she's going to be performing. I've seen her recently and she's amazing. So I don't know a whole lot about it. I know she's going to be doing some holiday songs, but also some of the things that she's more well known for. So I'll know a lot more after tomorrow's show.
Well,
And we just love anything that happens at the Valar. It's just it's a nice little intimate venue, and you get to really be able to experience artists a little bit closer than you would in other places.
Yeah, I always tell people, hey, if you have a chance to go to the Valar, even if you have no idea who it is, just show
Yeah.
up because it is always going to be such a great time. I love that theater. It's, really intimate. It's about 530 seats, depending on the seating configuration. All the woodworking that's in there. And artists love coming there because they a lot of times play big stadiums, different theaters around the world, but this has a really special feel. And we got some good shows coming up next week, with that Led Zeppelin, a cover band, a tribute band, Asleep at the Wheel. And then some of the other things coming for the anniversary season. I know Norah Jones, those tickets went on sale just a few weeks ago. We've got dance, we've got comedy, we've got rock and roll, country, we've got it all coming to our little theater here in the Valley. So limited availability already listed on some of these shows like Led Zeppelin 2, so don't wait for this. And this could be a good idea for a holiday present too.
Yeah, I think plus it's a nice alternative to just all the other stuff that's going on. Getting a little bit of culture in your day and in your holidays is never a bad thing, and something a little bit different than the norm, I guess.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I can see them getting the snow off the building behind you. Well, we're gonna probably see some more snow before. Guys, anyone in line yet? Lift's open at 8:30 now.
There are actually a few people already in line. Looks like about 10 or so.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they're not going to be waiting very long.
I know.
They'll be able to walk right on.
Maybe you'll have to go out and find out where they're from and see. Are they dressed for the? Well, I mean, it's not that cold. I mean, compared to what we thought.
No one's super bundled up. I think probably wearing maybe a little bit less than I'm wearing, so because they're about to go get a little bit more active.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, we will let you maybe go see what else is happening right down there at Mountain Plaza.
Yeah.
She's at the top of Bridge Street now, so she's made her way from the base of Bridge Street, covered bridge. We saw the menorah, the candle for the menorah lighting going on, the 10th Mountain Division statue, and she's working her way up the street. So we'll be back. We've got a lot more coming up on Vail Valley Live, so stay tuned.
In the extraordinary, we're free to discover more together. Experience it for yourself this winter. Get your lift tickets today.
We're for the fashion forward and budget minded. We've got the brands that set you apart, the style to make you stand out, the looks that let you shine. We are for the dreamers, the doers, and the savers. Outlets at Silverthorne. Elevate your savings. Save up to 70% on the best designer brands. Visit outlets@silverthorne.com for current sales and events. We're for the fashion forward and budget minded. We've got the brands that set you apart, the style to make you stand out, the looks that let you shine. We are for the dreamers, the doers, and the savers. Outlets at Silverthorne. Elevate your savings. Save up to 70% on the best designer brands. Visit outlets@silverthorne.com for current sales and events.
Hi, my name is Carrie Mae Wack, and I'm with the Eagle Valley Library District, and today I'm at our Eagle branch featuring our Spark Studio. So this is our maker space lab, or the place where you can come try new technology. We have software, hardware, pretty much anything that you can use to make and create. We have some sort of version in our makerspace. Thanks for checking out the Spark Studio with me today. Make sure to come back to the Eagle Public Library and check it out for yourself.
All right, we are seeing some backups and some crashes already this morning due to the new snow that fell overnight, the freezing temperatures. So we got 3 inches of new snow on Vail Mountain in the last 24 hours, 2 over at Beaver Creek, and that also has caused some havoc on the roads. So we are seeing some backups and some commuters. So look at Dow Junction right now, eastbound. There was a crash there right around mile marker 173. So that's closed due to a crash, according to the EC alerts. Right now, the Eisenhower Tunnel, things are moving pretty smoothly. Vail Pass Summit, things are looking good right there as well. But you can see West Vail, they aren't getting there. The eastbound lane is not getting there because they are backed up. Now, they are going to be able to get around, I think, through the frontage roads. Down Valley, there was also a safety closure on I-70 eastbound at mile marker 147 near Eagle due to a crash. So now that did open up, but please drive carefully, drive safely, slow it down a little bit. Just a little bit of new snow can really cause some havoc. And we're going to have blowing snow this afternoon, so make sure you are aware of that. But just want to give you that little update with our roads right now. But let's bring it back outside. We have Heather standing by. And Heather, a lot of kids are going to be out of school. Families are coming to town. Oh, you're by that tree. There's the holiday tree.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It's really, really pretty around here. They had some work being done earlier, so I kind of waited until they cleared out. But it's gorgeous.
Yes, it is. And you know what? They just need some presents under that tray, right?
Exactly.
You know what? And another fun thing that the town of Vail is doing is they're bringing in astronomy nights. And this is something cool if you haven't ever done this. And hopefully we'll have the skies clear for them to do this on Friday. It might be a little chilly. But what's really neat is you can see the moon, which I think will still be kind of like a crescent moon at this point. Jupiter should be out at this point. They also mentioned the Ring Nebula and then all sorts of the constellations. But this is such a fun thing to do with all ages because, I mean, I think the night sky just mesmerizes everyone. So they're going to have this. Oh, you know what? It says it's canceled December 23rd. Okay.
Oh, no.
It's already, well, good thing we checked it out. Okay. It's postponed due to weather. So we're not going to have that, but they're going to bring it back next Thursday. So December 30th, which I think is actually Friday. It's the 29th on Thursday. So
Yep,
we'll
I
have to
think you're
update the
right. I think
website.
you're right.
Yeah. So we'll look for this. This is on discovervail.com and keep this, an idea just in case they are able to do it next week because it is a lot of fun. So, okay. Well, next, a few of the things we can talk about. Okay. Now, have you heard about the dining with the dogs?
I just saw this, and we're gonna have to go try it because I think it's Sundays, right? And up at the
Yes.
top, I think is it 3 or 4? I can't remember exactly where it is.
Yeah, cheers
Okay.
4,
Yep.
5, and 11, where patrol headquarters is,
Yes.
PHQ, Buffalo's restaurant. Have you ever been to Henry's Hut, which is that little yurt?
I've only skied past it, but I know exactly where you're talking about now that
Yeah,
you say that. But I
yeah.
saw this advertised, as a dog person myself, I think this sounds like a ton of fun. And I think you get to hear from the ski patrol and they talk about how they train the dogs and you even get to see them maybe practice, which just sounds really neat.
Yeah, they're going to do their drills and they'll be available for photo ops and that kind of thing. So they're going to be basically doing this Sundays throughout the season. So it's a little earlier. You can have a brunch if you want to dine with the dogs, 10:30 to 11:30, and you can grab a snack over at Buffalo's, or you can bring some picnic food up there too. Maybe if you've made a little burrito already that morning, you could be doing that. So it's kind of a neat little thing. And dogs have always been such the ambassadors for Vail, going to schools or just being that friendly little canine. If you want to talk to ski patrol, so it's pretty cool that they've got this going on. So this will be this Sunday, next Sunday, and then pretty much all the rest of the Sundays through the rest of the season. So put this on your calendar. And Henry's Hut, Heather, that was named after Henry, the very first patrol dog, and he just passed away about a month ago or
Oh.
so. Yeah, so I think he was 14, 15 years old. He lived a good life, a lot of belly rubs for that dog and a lot of good times. And he was a working dog through and through. He worked on the mountain. He also worked at home. He was always such a big help to the family he lived with and everything. So that's who Henry's Hut is named after, just in case you want the reference.
I did not know that. I will say I was there for my birthday at the end of November, and they have really excellent cinnamon rolls that are definitely not healthy and really amazing and warm on a cold morning.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. Hey, you know what? Speaking of sweets and the holidays, you're a health and wellness professional. So what kind of tips do you have to kind of keep the balance this time of year?
Yeah, well, I think for me, first of all, you want to enjoy the holidays. So don't feel like you have to say no to everything. But there's so many other fun, healthy activities we can do for that balance that you were talking about, right? So things like snowshoeing, all those hiking trails, or a lot of the hiking trails that we have in the summertime are open right now. And I think we were chatting earlier, you could be using yak tracks or snowshoes or just walking through the snow, especially when it's packed down, I think is a great option. And then doing stuff that isn't necessarily centered around food. So like the events at the Villard, I think that's a really great option. Maybe taking your dog for a walk around the neighborhood, that can be really good. I think board games and hot cocoa with the family, that's how we can all stay warm maybe tomorrow if that Arctic blast does come through and get us. I think the art center is another one of those great places, keeping your mind active and doing those different things that, again, aren't necessarily all centered around food in the Valley. I think
Yeah.
there's so many great places to go, but having some alternative options that we can kind of mix into it. And then I have to, of course, say maybe a yoga class, yoga workshop, come practice with me. I think that's another great way to stay active right now.
Yeah, I think so too. And you know what? And you can bring drop-ins. You can bring family and friends. I think a lot of people think,
Yes.
well, oh, I don't belong to a gym. I'm just visiting. How do I keep my yoga routine going? So yeah,
Yeah.
you're inviting us.
I know on Monday night we had a person who was visiting just for that was in one of my classes. So it's really normal. Don't feel like you're doing anything that you're going to be weird at all. We'd love to have people come visit our classes who are from out of town and we can hear about it. So I think
yeah.
that's a really great option.
And I like doing that too. I like going to the classes when I'm on traveling and just meeting people and meeting the locals as well. So yeah, so where can we go? Where's your Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh, I teach at a couple of places around the Valley. Today at noon, I'll be in Eagle at the Vitality Collective.
Okay.
Tomorrow at noon, I'll be back here in Vail, Gravity House. And Monday nights, I am at Anahata, nice fireside flows. And then on January 3rd, if you're kind of planning ahead a little bit, you can find a really awesome reflection and slow movement and sound workshop that I'm hosting at Anahata. So lots of options coming up.
Good. Are you gonna have the sound bowl, the gong?
Yeah. So I do a lot of sound baths in the area. So I actually have a gong, we'll have bowls, we'll have drum, chimes, rain stick, all of the beautifuls. And that one on January 3rd is actually quite special because one of my other friends who's on healer, we're collaborating on it. So if you've never been to a sound bath with more than one practitioner, it's really cool because now you have four hands. And so we can do a lot more than when I do it on my own. So.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Those the bowls and the huge gong. I mean, those sounds are just pretty amazing. And what a good time to do that. It's January 3rd.
Yes.
That'll be like what? That'll be the Tuesday
Tuesday
after the holidays.
Yep, right after.
So yeah, so you kind of get New Year's out of the way and then start thinking about your New Year's resolutions. Are you a big resolutions person?
You know, I'm not. I tend to think about them as goals, though. So if I shift it that way, it works a bit better for my brain. That's just the way that I kind of think. And then that's something I can like have steps to work towards. Sometimes resolutions are so vague. And then I think, 21 days after is when most people are already given up. So I like to break it down into more of like a goal I'm going to work towards for me. Nothing wrong with it, just my approach.
Nothing wrong with it. Okay, so some healthy tips, kind of get out there, get active. And, you know, especially if you do have people from out of town that aren't quite used to the altitude, you don't have to take them straight up the mountain. We have a lot of areas that are flat. Like, you know, if you go over to the Vail Nordic Center, that's pretty level. You know, you're not going straight up anywhere. And so if people are intimidated by the altitude, there are ways to be active. Even if you just walk around and kind of go over towards like the Betty Ford Alpine Gardens or, you know, the Ford Amphitheater and those
when you're
walkways.
by the river, you can enjoy all of that. You know, that mix where by the river right now where you've got like a little bit of ice, but it's still kind of moving along. It's really pretty. But like you said, much easier for people who are visiting, who maybe aren't to go run up the side of the mountain.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do one more weather, right, Leah? Okay, we got to do a quick weather, and then I want to talk a little bit about Grand Hyatt moments because there's some fun things going on right here. So, are we gonna roll into the weather, or should we take a break? Okay, we'll do the weather right now, so you know what's going on. If you're just waking up, wow. It's warmer than normal. That's what's pretty crazy. So our weather now brought to you by the Grand Hyatt Vail. Thank you, Grand Hyatt, for hosting our show, keeping us nice and cozy here in our studio. If you're staying at the Grand Hyatt, come by and say hi. We've got these big windows, and we love it when people want to stop by and say hi. So here's what's going on with the weather. So we're going to see rather balmy temperatures this morning. Up on this screen, this is what temperatures up on the mountains. So 11 up at Beaver Creek, Vail looking at 10. I've been looking all around, and here's what I've been seeing throughout the valley. We've actually dropped a couple of degrees in some places, but right now for Eagle, we're at 20, Vail 21, Edwards 22, and Avon 21. So rather nice for this time of day. And even Denver is looking pretty nice right now at 30 degrees. I think the east of us, Denver in particular, they're going to really see more of that polar vortex coming on through. Now, we do have a winter storm warning, especially for the higher elevations, going on through noon today through noon tomorrow. And what that's going to bring is snow and below snow. We're going to have our winds 20 to 25 miles per hour in the afternoon. Could gust as high as 45. Your chance of precipitation is about 80% today. And then we roll into tonight as well. Winds could gust up to 55 miles per hour. And then for Thursday, we're going to see the wind chill really come into effect. So the low on Thursday night will be around 5. Wind chill factor could be 25 below. So definitely you're not going to be out and about on that. That's not the night for the nighttime snowshoe. You know, maybe go to the pool indoors instead if you're looking for a little activity. But we could see a white Christmas. It looks like we've got that in the forecast as well, with a little bit of snow for Saturday and Sunday. Accumulations, we could maybe see, according to Open Snow, we're going to see maybe 5 inches at Vail and Beaver Creek. So that's a quick look at your weather, but let's bring Heather in to say goodbye for our show today. Heather, thanks for the reports today. How was it out there?
Absolutely, great to be here. It's not, like I said, it's nice. So, and it's starting to pick up. You can see people starting to walk around a lot more. So I think it's going to be a nice day before everything gets really cold.
I know.
So.
Well, I bet you there's some nice window shopping there in case you need to get some gift ideas and get those after the slopes close. Because the stores stay open for a good long time, even kind of through the dinner hour. So if you want to do some strolling and shopping, We're gonna have that. It's gonna look like a winter wonderland too. We're gonna have some snow. So just be careful of the wind and stay warm as we move into this cooler time of the week. Well, thanks, Heather. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, thanks very much. Good to see everybody.
Okay. All right. Thank you for watching Vail Valley Live today. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30. Once again, if you ever want to chat or if you want to catch the show later, you can always do so. We're on demand on YouTube and Facebook, and then you can watch us live on Outside Television on Comcast Channel 17. We'll see you tomorrow.